I want us to look at understanding Abuja land titles. So, land titles are different from states and FCT. Today, we will focus on FCT. What makes the difference is what we see when we take on the states another time. You should all know that by now, and based on the assignment I gave you the other day, to try and go through the 1978 Nigerian Land Use Act. The Land Use Act empowers states or allocates all the land in any state to the state governor. What it invariably means is that state owns all the land. And if you come to FCT, we don't have a state here, but the Federal Capital Territory is serving as state in the FCT. So all the land here are in the hands of the FCT minister. Is that understood? Okay. So land title is the document a landed property possesses. They are one of the most important considerations while trying to acquire a property. It goes a long way in determining the value a property commands in a marketplace. You must have heard in real estate that location is the key. But you can't even start talking of location if the title of the land is not correct. You know, landed property is not like any other property. If you have laptop, if you want to go to Lagos, you can put your laptop in your bag. But in landed property, what you present to people before they even come to physically to see the property is the title. So title is number one thing. If the title is wrong, you don't have property in the first place. And let me say this. If, for example, somebody gave you a land document, you did not verify it, you buy it, you go and develop the property. Everything you have done on that land belongs to the real owner of the land. Is that understood? So for me, title is number one. It's when you get the title that the title is correct, then you go to location. Is that understood? Next slide, please. Okay. In this training, we are going to look into available land titles in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Nigeria is made up of 36 states. The Federal Capital Territory, according to the 1978 Land Use Act, all land belongs to the states, and as such, the lands in Abuja belong to the Federal Capital Territory Administration. I've said that before. I hope you understand. Next slide, please. So if you come to Abuja, we have the FCT itself, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, that is governing the whole Abuja. Then under it, you have the area council. Land titles in Abuja are in two categories: those issued by the area councils and those issued by Federal Capital Territory Administration. The area council are Abuja Municipal, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje, Abaji, Wale. So you find out that even places like Abaji, that's under FCT. When you talk of Amak is the central area. You see it in the next slide. So what happened is that when Abuja was made the federal capital territory, they gave all this area council the power to issue land allocation. But over the time, issues started coming up. Abuse of the power that was given to them. Even now, they have put some restrictions on them issuing land titles. That is why you hear about this one is a mark paper, this one is a FCDA paper. So any land title that is bearing a mark paper, it means it was issued by area council. Is that understood? Next slide, please. So this is the master plan, or this is the plan of Abuja. You can see Wawalada. This one is what? This one, I think. Can you see it closely there from Peter? This is municipal. This is Buhari. This is Kuje. You understand me? This is Wale. Wawalada. Abaji is here. I will share this. You will see it better in the DC. So these are the 6 area councils. As I said before, there have been a lot of controversy. What happened is that people started abusing it. You see one land being allocated to 3 or 4 people, and there are always issues with that. So because of that, the FCT minister now put some restriction on them. Now they are not allowing them to give allocation to people. But in the beginning, it was not like that. If you go, you see some documents that were the one issued when the newly made FCT, the Federal Capital Territory. You will see like the property, the one we sold to Navy. It has C of O, but it was issued by AMAC, not FCT, not the minister. Is that understood? The next slide. Land titles in the FCT are issued by the Honorable Minister of the FCT or somebody authorized by him to do so. That is why sometimes you can see land document signed by Director of Land or some other person acting on behalf of the minister. The following are the land titles. What I'm saying here is this. FCT minister is in charge, but just like every organization here now, let's say I'm not around, or I can delegate any of you or any of our directors to do certain things. So it doesn't mean that if you pick a land title and you didn't see the name of FCT minister, that it is not correct. Some land title were signed by Director of Land or some other person in the minister directed to do so. You will see some, they will just put signature for the FCT minister. Is that correct? Yes. So please be mindful of that. It is very, very important that we understand correctly what land title is. As I said at the beginning, you can't be talking of say you have a land if the title is not correct. That is why I'm taking time for us to understand this. So the first land title that you get directly from FCT is right of occupancy, ROO. First letter issued to a landowner by Federal Capital Territory Administration contains all the terms and conditions in which the land is assigned to the individual. Must be signed by FCT minister or somebody authorized by him or her. It empowers the holder to design, get approval from Federal Capital Development Control and commence building. Transfer to others through sales, provided necessary procedures are followed. This is the title of the Mark Royal Estate, Kadini, Abuja. So what we are basically saying here is this. If you have a document that is RFO, everything you can do with CFO document, you can do it. Be authorized by him or her. So most financial institutions, they will, most cases, honor certificate of occupancy if you apply for facility. Let's say you are asking for a loan to develop your property. Why are they asking for this? It's because of most of the things that used to happen in our country. There have been incidents where RFO was issued to somebody through one way or the other. Some people that feel that they have power, they go and manipulate it. CFO come in another person or company's name. Those are the things that bring conflicting results. So even if you go to bank now, you say you want loan, they will ask you for the CFO and the RFO. Because initially, people will go and present the CFO to bank and collect loan. Later somebody will come and show up with arrow of the same land. Do you see that there's problem now? So that is why anything you are doing in ages now, Abuja Geographic Information System, they will ask you for the RO and the CFO of the land. If you don't have those two documents, they will not attend to you. And that is why bank, they now quickly adjusted. They don't work with only CFO now. You have to present the RO as well. Next slide. So please, these are samples. I've taken time to put this. If I upload this in our portal, you try to go through. You need to understand this because customers will ask you. Do you understand me? Some people, people buy property for different reasons. We have what they call letter of intent. Letter of intent is simply also issued by FCT minister or any other person authorized by him or her. Issued mainly for mass housing. If you go to development control now, they have a department that is for mass housing. It's different from the normal land. It's a department of its own. It was carved out to provide facilities for developers that want to build mass housing. Initially, the idea behind government allocating mass housing land for you is that you build houses and sell to people. But the trend these days is that if you have the link, you get land that you are supposed to develop, you go and sell in open market, make money and all that. But intentionally, mass housing is supposed to be government give you land for free, you develop it, build houses so that it will be affordable to people. But that is not what is obtainable. So there is another type of document they can give you. They call this letter of intent. So this particular land, if they give you, you have to start developing it within a very short time frame. You understand? And it can easily be revoked. If they give you the document and you did not start developing it immediately, the government can revoke it and you can't do anything about it. It's part of the condition on which they gave you the land. And if you subscribe to this kind of development and you have up to 1,000 square meter, they can issue you CFO separately in your name. All these other estates that are building that are not in this category, they will not give you CFO. Even though when this man came in, the new FCT minister, they wanted to use it to raise funds to continue developing the FCT, but I don't know how far he went. There was a time he said that, okay, occupiers of houses in this state will now pay individually, no matter the type of house. He will now pay and he will issue you CFO. Is that understood? Okay, next slide. Letter of allocation. So letter of allocation is, issued by government agencies. It also gives the holder the right of the land, usually allocated to organized estates. Examples are Federal Housing Authority, FHA. They have estates in Gwarimpa and Lugbe. That's the one I know. They may have in other places. Then at a point also, before they separated the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Federal Ministry of Works, they used to have estate. That's government just carve out a place, organize it as estate, and give people letter of allocation. Is also acceptable. Our upcoming plaza in Gwarimpa, what it has is a letter of allocation from FHA. This is a sample of the letter of allocation. I purposely highlighted some things because for training purpose, nobody should come and say we are using this property for training. So next, so that's about that for the type of titles you have in FCTA. Other points to note: grant rate. Irrespective of the land title one have, irrespective of land title one is having, allottees of land in the FCT are expected to pay their ground rent yearly. Failure to make the payment can lead to the land allocation being revoked. There are other conditions that can lead to the allocation of a land being revoked, and they are all clearly stated in the title document. This is another issue. Somebody can present a document to you. It has C of O, it has R of O, but the land has been revoked.
So you will revoke it without connecting
No, where will they, if you are in London, you have your documents in London, they just go to their system there and they revoke the land. In some cases, it may not even must have been implemented. When FCT minister came, this present one, you heard him that he revoked some people's land. It was a big news. I even have a list of the ones they revoked. So this is why title is very, very important in acquiring a property. There are so many issues. Do you understand me? Somebody, this guy that used to come to our place, somebody used clone document to sell land 2 times. Do you understand me? He said the land to one person, he said to another person. Can you see the issue? So that is what, when you start hearing of due diligence, when you are buying property, the diligence is in the papers. The diligence in the paper, it requires a lot of work. This issue of C of O and R of O, there was also an issue. The man told somebody, say, I don't have C of O for the land. What I have is R of O. He used the R of O, sell to one person. He meet another person and say, what I have is C of O. He used C of O and sell to another person. Can you see the issue? And in most cases, people do like this, they can even leave the country and leave you with problem. But one good thing is that during the RFI, he was the one who introduced AGIS, Abuja Geographic Information System. So if you go there, apply officially, they can confirm the status of the land. But that does not still make everything foolproof. You understand me? So there's need for one to be, very, very careful when you are handling land documents. If you go to their place, that's why now, if you say you want to verify land, they will say you should bring the original document. There's a way they will use to check it. If the document is cloned, they will even arrest you in the first place. How did you get it? So those systems are there, but things can always be maneuvered. So that's that about land titles as far as Abuja is concerned.